The Los Angeles Lakers are preparing for a challenging series of games without their superstar, LeBron James, who suffered a groin strain in a recent matchup. The injury occurred late in the second quarter when LeBron made an aggressive drive to the basket and landed awkwardly. Although he tried to continue playing, he was visibly uncomfortable, and the team's medical staff decided to sideline him for the remainder of the game. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Initial reports suggested the injury wasn't too severe, but further evaluation revealed that LeBron could miss at least 1 to 2 weeks. Given his importance to the team, the Lakers are taking a cautious approach with his recovery, as rushing him back too soon could lead to further complications. The timing of this injury couldn't be worse. The Lakers are entering a grueling stretch in which they will play multiple games against high-caliber opponents, including teams that have posed challenges in recent seasons. This series of games, with a mix of tough matchups, will be one of the most demanding sequences of the season. Despite the tough schedule ahead, there's a silver lining. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, LeBron James has already returned to Los Angeles and is making significant progress in his recovery. Lakers star LeBron James has returned to Los Angeles under medical advice and continues to make good progress in recovering from his left groin strain, ESPN's Dave McMenamin reported. While the Lakers have yet to announce an official return date, the fact that LeBron is back home and responding well to treatment is an encouraging sign. If all goes well, he could return to the lineup sooner rather than later, possibly ahead of the initial 2-week timeline. LeBron's absence leaves a significant void in the Lakers' rotation. Not only is he the team's leading scorer, but he's also a key playmaker and floor general. Currently, the Lakers are battling to maintain their position near the top of the Western Conference. However, their recent performances have been concerning, as they've suffered a couple of tough losses. With LeBron out, the Lakers will need a full team effort to avoid further setbacks. The bench will also need to provide more consistent contributions, particularly from Rui Hachimura and Christian Wood, who have shown flashes of brilliance but need to be more reliable. The Lakers' upcoming stretch will be a true test of their resilience. Looking beyond this stretch, the Lakers hope to have LeBron back in time for crucial late-season games that could determine their playoff positioning. With teams like the Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings, and Golden State Warriors all competing for top spots in the Western Conference, every game will count. The road ahead is tough, but the latest update on LeBron's recovery provides some much-needed optimism. If the Lakers can stay competitive and secure key wins in his absence, they'll be in a strong position when he returns. However, if they struggle over the next week, they could find themselves slipping down the standings and facing a more difficult path in the playoffs. For now, Lakers fans will have to hope that the team can come together and weather this storm until their leader is back on the court. In an unexpected turn of events, the Lakers orchestrated a blockbuster trade with the Dallas Mavericks. This trade involved sending Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round draft pick to the Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic, one of the brightest and most exciting young stars in the NBA. The trade was a shock, especially considering that Davis had been seen as the centerpiece of the Lakers' efforts alongside LeBron James, helping lead them to an NBA championship in 2020. What made this trade even more remarkable was how secretive the negotiations were. The talks were known to only a handful of key individuals within both organizations, including Rob Pelinka, the Lakers general manager, Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, Jeannie Buss, and the Mavericks owner. Keeping the details under wraps was seen as essential for maintaining the integrity of the trade. A premature public leak could have disrupted the entire deal, something the Lakers certainly wanted to avoid, especially when considering that they were acquiring a generational talent like Luka Doncic in the prime of his career. As news of the trade broke, the public reaction was swift and full of disbelief. Fans and analysts alike were stunned, with many wondering why the Lakers would trade away Anthony Davis for a player like Doncic, who had not yet proven himself in the postseason. The surprise was understandable, given how instrumental Davis had been to the Lakers' success in recent years. However, Jeannie Buss, in a later interview on the Games with Names podcast, revealed the behind-the-scenes process that led to the eventual deal. She discussed how she initially felt about the idea and how the trade conversation unfolded. At that time, Rob was playing in a game and had a conversation with the GM of Dallas, Buss shared on the podcast. After giving it some serious thought, Rob came to me with a proposed structure for the trade. I was initially not on board with the idea. I made it clear to Rob that I was not in favor of trading Anthony Davis. I expected him to report back that the deal was off the table. But as the talks continued, we were able to develop a framework that could work for both sides. Despite her initial reservations, Buss admitted that as the trade discussions evolved, she began to understand the potential benefits of acquiring Luka Doncic. Doncic was already one of the most talented young players in the NBA, and his skill set, especially his ability to lead a team, made him an appealing option. However, Buss was steadfast in her belief that the Lakers' success hinged on maintaining a stable and strong locker room, which meant that any trade had to be handled with care. "I emphasized the importance of confidentiality throughout the process," Buss continued. "It was vital to keep everything under wraps to prevent any negative emotions from creeping into the team. If players know they're being traded, it can affect their focus, their energy, and even their performance. We knew that if we were going to make this deal work, it had to be done quietly. That way, when the news broke, it would be a true surprise, and no one would feel blindsided by the changes." Buss's approach to team management has always been rooted in loyalty, a value she inherited from her late father, Dr. Jerry Buss, who was the beloved owner of the Lakers before her. Dr. Buss built the Lakers into one of the most successful and player-friendly organizations in the league, and Jeannie has worked tirelessly to maintain that legacy. She has always been reluctant to trade star players unless absolutely necessary, and Anthony Davis, who was a key part of the Lakers' 2020 championship run, certainly fit into that category. However, Buss recognized the need for bold moves in the fast-paced world of the NBA, especially given the circumstances at the time. The Lakers had just won a championship in the Orlando bubble in 2020, but the following season had been far less successful. The roster changes made in the offseason of 2020, following their championship, did not provide the expected boost to the team's performance. The team struggled with injuries and an overall lack of chemistry, and by the time the 2020-2021 season ended, the Lakers were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Phoenix Suns. In hindsight, Buss expressed regret over some of the moves made in that offseason, particularly the decision to trade away several key players who had been part of the team's championship success. Danny Green, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and Rajon Rondo, players who had contributed significantly to the Lakers' success, were all gone, replaced by Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, and Wesley Matthews. While these additions seemed like solid upgrades at the time, the new players didn't mesh well with the existing roster, and the team was plagued by injuries, which hindered their chances at repeating as champions. Looking back on that period, Jeannie Buss admitted that some of the roster changes may have been too drastic. "I regret some of the decisions we made during that offseason," she said on the podcast. "We tried to make improvements, but in hindsight, we might have gone too far. The chemistry wasn't there, and injuries hit us hard. LeBron and AD weren't at their best physically, and that made a huge difference. The pressure of having such a short off-season due to the pandemic also played a role. It was a tough year, and I think we learned a lot from it." Despite those challenges, Buss remained optimistic about the future. The Lakers were determined to bounce back, and she understood that making bold moves was sometimes necessary to ensure the long-term success of the franchise. The trade for Luka Doncic, though controversial, was seen as part of this larger strategy to build a team that could compete for championships for years to come. As the 2021-2022 season unfolded, the Lakers continued to grapple with injuries and inconsistent play, but the hope was that Doncic's arrival would provide the necessary spark for the team to return to championship contention. Buss, though still deeply committed to the values of loyalty and teamwork, recognized that the NBA was a constantly evolving league, and sometimes tough decisions had to be made to stay relevant. With the Lakers' future uncertain, it became clear that the team's success would depend on the health and performance of its star players, as well as the ability of the front office to make the right moves to build a competitive team around them. The addition of Doncic, while risky, was seen as a bold step toward ensuring the Lakers remained one of the NBA's most formidable teams for the foreseeable future. Jeannie Buss's leadership, shaped by both the legacy of her father and her own vision for the future, continues to guide the Lakers through these challenging times. Her commitment to balancing loyalty with the realities of the modern NBA will likely define the franchise's trajectory in the years to come. The Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most iconic franchises in NBA history, are facing a critical need to bolster their frontcourt, particularly when it comes to the center position. This gap has become even more glaring in recent seasons, with questions surrounding the stability and performance of their current starting center, Jackson Hayes. While he's a solid player, it's clear that the Lakers need a more impactful presence in the paint, especially if they're looking to contend for championships in the near future. Hayes, for all his potential, doesn't quite fill that crucial role. Interestingly, the Lakers have been active in exploring trades for a starting center. In fact, before the trade deadline, the team attempted to acquire the promising young big man, Mark Williams, from the Charlotte Hornets. Williams, known for his shot-blocking and rim-rolling abilities, was seen as the ideal fit to complement LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the frontcourt. However, the deal fell through after Williams failed his physical examination, leading the Lakers to reconsider their options. This begs the question, how can Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka address this need and fortify the team's frontcourt around superstars like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, both of whom require a solid supporting cast if the Lakers are to challenge for the NBA title? A compelling answer comes from Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report, who has proposed an intriguing trade deal that could dramatically shift the Lakers' roster. In this deal, the Lakers would trade their third-best player, guard Austin Reeves, along with defense-first forward Jared Vanderbilt, to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for a five-time All-Star, Klay Thompson, and veteran center Daniel Gafford, a pivotal figure on the Mavericks team that made it to the NBA Finals last season. Dallas Mavericks receive G. Austin Reeves, F. Jared Vanderbilt. Los Angeles Lakers receive G/F. Klay Thompson, C. Daniel Gafford. At first glance, this trade might seem like a difficult pill to swallow for Lakers fans, particularly due to the loss of Austin Reeves. Reeves has been an emerging star for the Lakers, earning recognition for his all-around play, court vision, and clutch performances. However, this potential trade isn't just about Reeves. It's about bringing in proven talent, particularly in the form of Klay Thompson and Daniel Gafford, both of whom could have an immediate impact on the Lakers' chances of winning an NBA championship. Let's break this trade down in more detail and examine the pros and cons of each side. First, let's talk about Klay Thompson. While Thompson might be past his prime, it's undeniable that he still possesses incredible skills, particularly as a floor spacer and perimeter shooter. Known for his record-breaking performances, Thompson is one of the best shooters to ever play the game. His ability to stretch the floor with his three-point shooting could provide the Lakers with much-needed offensive firepower, especially as the team looks to surround LeBron and Luka with players who can score efficiently. Although Thompson's early season struggles had fans questioning his effectiveness, his recent resurgence has been encouraging. Over the course of the 2024-25 season, Thompson has averaged 14.5 points per game, shooting .416 from the field, .399 from three-point range, and .903 from the free throw line, along with 3.5 rebounds and 2.1 assists. These numbers show that he's still a highly effective player when healthy. Moreover, Thompson's value goes beyond the box score. He has championship experience, having won 4 NBA titles with the Golden State Warriors. The fact that Thompson is a Southern California native only adds another layer of intrigue to the possibility of him joining the Lakers. Before he ultimately signed with the Mavericks, Thompson briefly flirted with the idea of joining the Lakers during free agency last summer, though he ultimately chose Dallas. His connection to the city and the Lakers' storied history could make this trade all the more appealing.